Show. That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks, to a very chilly, cold edition of Big Recruiting Junior Day Weekend coming up for the Irish. Let's discuss it edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, thank you for being here. I hope you are warm. Man, it's cold out. Thanks for being here. As always, the program's on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni Boy out as well. Notifications on that way. You will learn it every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter. Search bar Always Irish Rat. Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd at gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it to call-in lines. 312-988-15. You dial it up and tell old Johnny all you've heard and seen. Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Inc. USA Today, Irish Wire. Read all about it. Patreon.com/Always Irish. Former Notre Dame captain, leading tackler, Mike Goolsby, and yours truly behind the paywall. What, no restrictions? What could go wrong? Go find out. Thank you to everybody that already has. All right. Nice little change of pace here. We often talk about big picture stuff. You know, I always talk about taking the Notre Dame lens and whatever you're looking at, it all depends on what lens you're looking at, how zoomed in you are on one aspect of all this versus zooming the telescope lens back and getting a bigger picture. We discuss all that. And oftentimes Notre Dame is Notre Dame recruiting specifically is one of those line items that we discuss. I do get asked sometimes why I don't do a lot more recruiting stuff here compared to some other Notre Dame shows. Couple reasons. Number one is X's and O's is not my expertise. And I'm not going to come on here and act like it is. So I can't come on here and then give you some recruit's name that's uncommitted that Notre Dame wants. And then I break down all of his strengths and weaknesses and what the film says and his body needs to do this. And he may be able to flex into that position. I'm not that guy. The X's and O's thing is and that kind of thing is just not my area of expertise, of history, of knowledge. So that's number one of them. Number one. Here's number two. And I am being as honest with you guys as I can be. And I always try and do that here. Following Notre Dame recruiting almost killed me through my teens and my 20s. Almost the end of me. Before Always Irish, before I was writing, before I did even my audio show, only when this started, you didn't get to see my lovely face, but just listen to me yell and pound my desk about Kelly messing everything up all those years. Before all of that, before recruiting was $1 billion business, when there was one website you went to and click refresh to see you Notre Dame if the facts came in or not. My teens and 20s following this kind of shit almost killed me. It's too much. Even back then, before NIL and all this stuff, there is a limit to how much I am willing to come on here and emote about all these high schoolers who are playing games, looking for money, divas, this and that, and angling for this, and your camp's doing this and that behind the scenes and all that. I'm being honest, I don't have a lot of patience for it anymore. I realize it's big business. I need to be able to stay sane. So I like focusing on the recruits Notre Dame has committed to Notre Dame. I'm about done getting a hard-on over guys that are dicking Notre Dame around and end up somewhere else. I've seen that 800 times in my life in the last 20 years. And 99% of the time, Notre Dame does not get whoever that uncommitted guy is that all Notre Dame fans are flipping out over. We don't get him 99 out of 100. And I cannot let a 17-year-old good athlete do that to me. And I also am not mature enough to separate the emotion out of it. So I'm just telling you, I've seen way too many of these where Notre Dame fans get out head over heels for a guy. We don't get him. I can't. There is a limit to how far down that path I'm going to go with those guys before I know they're Notre Dame guys. I can't. So that's another reason. I'm just being honest with you. It drives me nuts. I'm 39 years old, and some 17-year-old's uncle who's angling for NIL money is going to dictate my happiness and sanity? There's got to be a line to it. Let's get into this. Notre Dame has a big junior day planned, and many hope there's 2 to 3 commitments that come out of it, if not on the weekend, within a few weeks of it. That's the idea. I think that would be considered a successful junior day. First things first, Notre Dame's really getting an early jump on the 25 class. They have more guys committed. They're number one on 247 rivals for 25. We all understand that's not because we're landing all the 5 stars. It's a bulk type thing now, I believe. And Notre Dame's got double the amount of guys of the second ranked school. Notre Dame's number one for that reason mostly, and we know that isn't going to last. I'm just saying the class seems to be filling up quickly, and then you're like, is that good or bad? What does that tell us? Is my next question to myself. I think it's a good thing because Notre Dame's targeting guys they like early in the cycle. Those guys like them. Why wait? I like this level of commitment from both sides as long as it holds up. 14 guys is a lot already. That is a lot already. It feels way sped up to me compared to the old days. And maybe this is a specific Notre Dame advantage because Notre Dame's so unique. A Notre Dame type kid might see Notre Dame and then just know there ain't nothing else like this. This works for me. Shut it down. I'm going to Notre Dame. And as long as they're great athletes too, then it's a beautiful thing. I started to have a problem with Kelly when he started signing guys with my body type and calling them RKGs and giving them a scholarship. No, bro. No, I need MVPs, not RKGs. So just signing guys to say you sign guys and fill out a recruiting class doesn't do a damn thing for me. They got to be good athletes and Notre Dame fits. But if this is an indicator, you're finding the guys you want. That's the key. They can't just be like your second, third choices and then they pick Notre Dame. Big deal. If they're guys the staff wants and they want Notre Dame early, why wait? Shut it all down. Don't deal with any more recruiting BS and it's over. So I think that's a credit to the staff. They're all over it. And they're all over these guys earlier. The cycles and the calendars are speeding up. Have you noticed? So as long as it's the guys we want, you're not settling, then go ahead and get them in the fold early. Here's a few things that stand out to me about this one. Number one is I hate the weather. I hate the weather. And I know there's nothing you can do about it. I realize all these players are going to eventually find out what winter in South Bend's like. I understand all that. I'm just saying nobody likes being physically miserable. That's just not like my first vibe I want when I'm traveling somewhere is to get out of the car and my body hurts and I'm miserable, which is what happens when it's below 0 or whatever. So I know there's no way to hide the weather in South Bend forever. I would just like it to be not miserable. I'm not asking for tropics. I'm just saying not miserable. So that's number one. I appreciate KVA. He was there and you know, warm weather guy in his slides and his shorts out on Eddy Street in the snow. I God bless you. Those guys are just built different. God bless you. So number one is I hate the weather, but there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Whatever. They're going to find out eventually, but I just wish it wasn't so miserable. Number two, I love having the other committed guys there overlapping with the uncommitted guys. This is a big key to me. It's a big deal to me. Taylor, Reef, May, Burgess, Thurman, Deuce. I like having committed guys already there. Like, those are the guys where the uncommitted ones can get to meet, see how everybody vibes together, see how that goes. And I like the influence. Like, these recruits know this is a big sell job. They're not dumb. They know this is a sell job by the adults in the room to get you to pick their place. That's why I like having the other recruits there, not even the other players that are already in the program, but the other recruits, because they can totally relate to these guys. And it's like, hey, man, I was in your spot not a few months ago. I understand you're pulled in a lot of directions. Come with us. Like, trust us. Notre Dame's a cool place to be. We're building something together. The messaging comes off different from other guys in that position than it does from the coaches, where you know it's a sell job. You also know it's a sell job from the committed recruits, but it's a different kind of sell job than with coaches. So I love being able to have the committed guys work on the uncommitted guys, feel the vibe that locker room's going to be. You're forming a core of what that group's, you know, the next couple cycles are going to look like. I like that aspect. Having them talk to Deuce and Deuce telling the receivers, let's cook, baby. Like, I love all that. It's different coming from other guys in your exact position than it is from the adults or the guys that are already here and established. I love that. Love that. Let them all get together. See who's a good fit and a good blend. This is also a good way to eliminate some guys. I'm talking about on the plus of like, man, we all get along. This is great. I love this core. Notre Dame feels different. This group of committed guys feel I'm going to go here. It also might work the other way, which is very helpful and informative as well. You may have a couple guys and they get with the committed guys and they're just not a fit. There's just something about it that doesn't work out. Not that a guy's a jerk or a prima donna. Could be anything, but it's like, yeah, this vibe isn't really for me. Or the staff and everybody else is like, yeah, that dude didn't really vibe with us. Like, it's informative on the plus and the minus, but I love having those guys involved. So what are you looking at? Bettis Jr., McCutcheon, Lang, Strebig, Shanklin. Don't say that on a golf course. Golden. What did Notre Dame name? Costner, not Kevin. Williams, maybe Augustine. Is that finalized yet? That he's coming? Word on the street was. Can you land 2 to 3? Can I stretch it into 4 of this group in the next couple months? That'd put you up 17, 18 guys. These are a lot of Notre Dame's top remaining guys on the board as well. The O-lineman, can you get a couple of them? You'll be set then. Lang, Strebig, Augustine, can you get 1 or 2? If not all those guys, let's cook. Corners, ND, turn it into DBU. Give me that Golden, Williams, Zachary. Get it done. Own the corner position. And when you own the corner position, you know what it does on the field? It allows you to cook up so many other things. When you know you got it locked down on the back end, you can take more chances up front. You can do it. It changes everything. Can you get one of the wide receivers? That would go a long way to making you feel comfortable as well. Notre Dame's really getting after it. They seem to know what they're after and how to target it now better. It just seems way more organized and way more focused than I remembered this process being under previous regimes, not just Kelly, but other ones too. More organized, more focused. It just seems like they have a better pulse of exactly where they're at and where they're going next or whatever. I don't know how else to say it, but more organized and more focused and way ahead of schedule. I mean, these guys cook. When Freeman got the job and he was asked about his recruiting approach, what he said, I did a whole episode on it, and I said, this could be the difference whether Notre Dame ends up being anything or not. Kelly used to say, we're shopping down a different aisle. We got to wait, make sure these kids make grades, their test scores. Then we get in the game a little late, try and make up ground and blah, blah, blah. Kelly was very public about that being the process. Freeman saying it's going to be a lot more work, but we're going after the best athletes that are interested in Notre Dame and getting them to love Notre Dame. And then we'll worry about the grades later. And we'll hope the test scores and the grades are good enough that the marriage works. But Freeman said, we're not waiting around for those test scores junior year or whatever. It's too late. We realize it's extra work. We're going after all the best players that have interest in us, and then we'll hope that part figures itself out later. And if it doesn't, you move on to the next guy. Yes, it's more work, but it allows you to cast a broader net. You're seeing the results. You're seeing the results. It's a totally different approach. It gives you more flexibility. It allows you to be more nimble. It allows you to have a better plan B if plan A doesn't work out. It is more work. This staff doesn't care. They don't complain about getting on the private jet to go recruit. They look forward to those days to spread the Notre Dame mission. Do you see how different that approach is mentally than, oh man, what a pain in the ass, I have to get on a private jet and go recruit? Versus, I can't wait to get on this flight, chug my coffee, get off, go sell the Notre Dame mission, then go do it again. Totally night and day in how they approach recruiting. So this class, they're getting a really good head start on it. Let's see how this goes. See if you could get 2 to 3 in the next few weeks. I want to push it to 4. But some of these guys, maybe they want to be courted and they're bigger, want it's going to last longer. I don't know. But if you could maybe get a couple of those linemen or one of those wide receivers, 2 of those 2 corners, 1 I don't know. Great start to the class. This is another opportunity. I love having the other committed guys there to sell the message as a peer, not as a coach with that difference in sell job. I like all that. But this staff, they're gaining confidence in the way they recruit, and I'm here for it. And I like their approach. What do you guys think? What are you hearing? Do you think there's 2 to 3 commitments that could come out of this in the next few weeks? Who would you prefer they be? What do you think? Let me know.